Hello everyone, welcome to Fix It Troy. We are going to talk about the Sig Sauer Mosquito tonight. We'll start with a short story about this pistol. I purchased this one several years ago. I'm thinking 3, 4, 5 years ago. I thought it would be a great addition to the collection, and it was. The only problem was I bought it. It was a floor model, so it had been handled quite a bit. It had some, marring and let's not call it damage, but some imperfections. So I bought it, brought it home, put it in the safe, and it sat there 6 months to a year. Still hadn't fired it yet. So then, I don't know, thought maybe I should take this out and try it. And guess what? It didn't work. So the challenge I had with it, and I found out other people had challenges also. I would pull the trigger back, the action would cycle, it would reload another bullet, but the trigger would be stuck back. So I had this apart numerous times to try to figure out where the catch was at. Never could quite see it. So at one point I decided, let's just try cleaning up the parts, not just washing them, but taking a file, sandpaper, and a buffer. So what we ended up doing is we took the trigger arm out, or trigger bar out, that goes from the trigger to the action back in the handle. So stripped the gun down, took that out, and I used flat files like this to basically make that trigger bar perfect. And then when I was done with that, I sanded it with even finer sandpaper and then took it to the buffing wheel and buffed it until it was just as shiny as chrome. And then put it back together and voila, it worked. So if any of you out there are having problems with the Sig Sauer Mosquito and the GRS Firefly, it could have the very same problem. So now I've done enough talk. Let's take this apart. We'll take that trigger bar out and show you how I filed it and polished it, and then we'll put it back together. And we'll show you some little helpful hints so you can take it apart without losing parts, without it flying apart. The hammer spring down in here, if you're not careful, the frame will separate and that spring will fly, and then you'll be looking around for parts. So basically what we're going to do is we take it apart and we put a clamp around that end, hold it together while we disassemble the rest of the pistol. So that is what we're going to show you. Then we will take the pistol out after we've done this repair and test fire it for you, show you how it cycles perfectly after that. But I feel bad I didn't get a video beforehand when the trigger would stick back. It would stick back, you could put your finger behind it and push it forward to complete the action. But that's just no fun to go shooting when you have to do that. So I can show you how it works flawlessly now, but I am unable to show you the fault. But if you own one of these and have experienced that, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is the only fix I've been able to find for it, and it works perfectly. So there you have it. We will disassemble it now and show you in detail what we did to correct this problem. And that very same correction may work in many other pistols of a similar shape and style, because most of them use a trigger bar similar to this. And if there is any imperfections in them, they can catch and cause problems. So we will take this apart and show you how it's done. Okay, everybody, we're back. Before we get started, first I want to say we're doing the follow-up or the test fire after we polished our trigger bar. This is the first opportunity we've had to have daylight as it's getting darker earlier, and we get home from work and it's dark, so we don't have a chance to shoot this. But before we go any further, I do want to extend a thank you to my sons that make this happen. We've got Porter, he runs the camera and does all the editing. Axel, he did all the handiwork on the trigger bar, and he does gun assembly and disassembly. So he did this project, and that's why it probably looked like a different person that was working on the gun. And he oftentimes just pushes me aside and says, "Step aside, Dad, I'll take it from here." So that's what we did. So we're going to run 10 rounds through this. In the past we couldn't do it because the trigger would get hung up. Now, after servicing it and polishing the trigger bar, let's run 10 through. Perfect. That's what we like.